All right, let's take one step closer to Sunday with a new edition of Between the Horns presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers. I'm JB Long with D'Marco Farr and a newly minted Hall of Famer, Maurice Jones-Drew. De La Salle finally put you in the Hall of Fame?
I was in the Hall of Fame as a player. This is to be like Alumni of the Year.
Okay.
Oh,
So this
you're
is
already
for-
in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, this is to go in for donating time and energy.
Okay.
And money.
Does that answer the question?
How many tuitions do you have to pay, and how many games do you have to coach before you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Awesome.
It's awesome though, just because I was able to we did a big project this year, starting a youth program there that kind of was a lot. It took a lot of work. Didn't need to be as hard, but we figured it out, and so I appreciate the school for it.
Well, that explains it, but it also steals some of our thunder because how do you get into the California Hall of Fame and the UCLA Hall of Fame
And not in that Hall of Fame.
that should
Listen,
first.
De La Salle, I'm not gonna lie, they're up there with top guys.
Yeah.
Let's not. They got
When
some
did you
dudes.
go into their Hall of Fame? How many years ago?
I missed a game for it. I forget.
Okay,
boss
you did.
man, you gotta.
Okay,
yeah,
it was
a
okay.
game. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago,
That's
maybe
right.
6
There
years
you
ago.
go.
I missed a
I
game for
completely
it.
missed that. You're
Yeah.
right. Big whiff by us. I promise we're not stalling to avoid talking about the loss to Philadelphia or anything.
No, it's all good.
We can dive right in wherever you guys want. 4 days removed. Has the sting gone away?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mine hurts as bad, maybe worse.
Yeah. It's the things that haunted us last year. I felt like came back, and not talking. This is without the blocked field goals, not scoring in the red zone. Right. The non-touchdowns in the red zone. That's why you have to score, right? We talked about that in the broadcast, that putting the ball in the paint is going to be more important than anything against them, because they have the ability to score quickly, and you want to get them out of their game plan. And you did that coming out of half, but before half, kicking those field goals, even though they were awesome and it was good.
Small wins for them.
Yeah, those were small wins for the Eagles, and it really kept the game a lot closer than what it should have been.
It kept them a lot. Okay, so you go in with a lot of questions, and I thought you answered a lot of them. But it really was. It was a devastating way to lose a football game. I was telling JB earlier that double thud, boom.
Yeah.
That is the worst sound in sports, right? It's just deflating. So, but when you go in with questions, you come out with answers. I think you answered a lot of questions. You took it to Saquon. You got to Jalen Hurts. Jared Verse squared him up a few times. The blitzes were getting home. You had a lead on them. You were beating the Eagles, and you let them come back. I think the only thing that was left unanswered is, how do you cover A.J. Brown? Everything else, I think you were right in line with being one of the best teams in the NFC. So the worst part about it was you came away with an L. That's the sucky part. But as far as moving on from it, yeah, it's over. It happened. You move on. You have to play Indy this week. You can't let the Eagles beat you twice.
No question.
It's a tough way to lose, but it is what it is. This is the pros. Lick your wounds. Get ready for this week and try to beat the Colts.
That's the best part of not being a player anymore, because I get to I can kind of just lean in. I will say this: Akella Witherspoon was missed a ton, and then I'll say there's certain situations where I don't think the Rams were at their best. That 4th and 1. Right, where they had Jalen Carter at DN, Jordan Davis over Limmer, and they stunted out, right? A guy whiffs, you got a big guy in the hole. Those situations you just have to make sure that you're at your best in those. But other than that, I think you're right, DeMarco. You learn from this, right? You take the good, you learn from the bad, and you move forward.
There's a lot of good, yeah.
One play before that, you loved the shot they took. I think you called for it, if I remember correctly, right? Plus territory.
Give it to me. You want to know why? Because when you're in that situation, you take the shot because you're in Philly, and it's your chance to put the dagger in their heart and twist it.
And you got the matchup that you scored the touchdown on previously, Devontae Adams against Blankenship.
Yeah.
Like, I was asking DeMarco earlier today, like with this coach and this quarterback, but really any time on Sunday, those are the moments that you dream of. Like, you spend all week trying to get that look, that chance, right? And if you don't hit it, sometimes you come out on the losing end. But I was thinking from Philly's standpoint, they could easily be 0-3 if 3 big-time players make catches. Week 1, CeeDee Lamb. Week 2, Kelsey.
Yep.
Week 3, Devontae. Like, right now, those 3 disconnects with all-time great players are the difference between them being 3-0 and 0-3.
And that's kind of what it is. When you scheme up everything, and I know we're going to move forward, but when you have the play,
we're lingering. It's fine.
We're
We're lingering.
So listen, when we go in the meetings, we're like, this is what we're going to get in this situation. We go out and practice it. We have the numbers on the guys, and then you go out and you look at it, you're like, oh my God, this is it.
But DeMarco's case is game, time, and score says
Clock is my
hand
friend.
that thing
Yeah.
off twice.
We're running the ball.
Chances are
Yeah.
you're going to move the chains, and in the meantime, the clock is doing
Yeah,
this.
I understand
We're running
that.
the ball.
I understand
We're doing
that.
great. We're knocking them off that same big D line. I mean, this is me playing on the other side. I know what stresses me out as a defensive lineman. If it's 3rd and short, I don't know what you're
Right.
doing. So I have to load up on something. If you slam the ball at me with Maurice, with anybody, even if I'm in the right gap, if he spins off and stretches out, that's a first down. You've got the lead. The clock is my friend. I'm trying to bleed you.
You know what's funny? I agree with you. But I was told to quit being soft by the head coach in week 1.
I heard that.
And when he called me soft, I knew then what the mindset was going to be, right? I mean, JB, you were right there. You saw my face. I was like, hey, you're right.
It was the callback to running out the clock against Houston, trying to steal their last time out versus going for the kill shot on the
And
throw
so
to
if
Puka.
that's going to be your mindset, when we're in a similar situation against Philly, at Philly, you go for the dagger.
And it was there. Don't get me wrong. It's not that he had the wrong play call. We're just talking about philosophy. If Stafford is a little more on target, that's a win.
Or if they drop the flag on
Yes.
the tug on the release.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of good things that could have happened there. Unfortunately, none of them did.
That's
for
the
the
thing.
But
You
that's
said
okay.
yeah.
I'm not upset with, if we're going to lose being aggressive, we're going to lose being who we are. If that's what you're telling me, if we're going to be aggressive,
Right.
then let's be aggressive. And if we lose, hey, we'll learn from it. We'll figure it out. We'll get going. I think also there's a little bit of timing that's off right now with Stafford and Devontae.
Lowest catch rate of his career, just to color that in.
Yeah.
All his years, he's never caught this low a percentage of his targets.
But think about it. The out that normally is a handoff, right, that we've seen Stafford throw, that wasn't there. The shot play that he misses by half a yard, right? Those are plays that we've
The
seen.
red zone slant on
Right,
the
red
goal
zone-
line that
yeah.
he airmailed.
Put it on his body.
Those are plays that we've seen Matthew Stafford make. We've also seen him make it with lesser receivers, right? But it's about the timing, and that's only going to get better as we get going. So I'm not concerned necessarily. I just know that was a lost opportunity.
That's why when you said, like, does it linger? No, because all that stuff is fixable. And I think it does get fixed. You know what I mean? It's not something that you can't overcome. You're not overmatched. It's just you're missing. Eventually you won't.
On field, no, I don't think it lingers. I agree with what you're saying. Big picture, it lingers a lot. Like, what stings most about that loss is I don't know the consequences of that loss until December and January. It's going to cost the Rams something. Best case scenario, it just cost them a little margin for error that they had earned from themselves.
Right.
Or maybe the chance to compete for a 1 seed. Worse, it could cost them a division or playoff seeding or, heaven forbid, even a playoff spot. So that's the part that's tough to reconcile. Is, man, you had that shot. And yes, I know there are 30 teams in the league that would love to say our roster's good enough to go into the link and be up 3 scores despite throwing a pick that led to a touchdown and a 7-0 deficit. Like, that is the good, and there's a lot of it. But, man, I empathize with fans who had to sit through that second half and saw that whole second game coming.
Yeah, I think, again, you said it best. Like, that game determines where you have to go pretty much in the playoffs. Right, we've already went there before.
It could, yeah.
If you earn that,
It could,
right.
right.
You know, the other thing, and I told DeMarco this morning, is my biggest concern might be that they got the best out of Philadelphia. That whatever was bogging the Eagles down, the Rams forced them to reconcile. And now they are a team that's going to throw to their weapons on the outside. Now they're not a team that's going to wait for the second half and the 3-score deficit to maybe try and take some shots with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I just think the Rams. I think if Akella Witherspoon's there, it's for a different outlook.
I'm not saying specific to that matchup. I'm saying I can't wait to see what Philly does in Tampa Bay this week, because Tampa Bay's had their numbers, played them as well as anybody.
Yeah.
But if they come out and they look like the world champs again, a lot of people are going to be blaming the Rams for, like, why'd you go and do that?
You woke them
Well,
up.
no
'Cause
question.
Their whole crowd was booing them.
That's literally what the text I got after the game was. Thank you for waking us up. And it's like, hold on. First of all, they're professionals, right? No one's gonna wake you up. Like whatever. I think Tampa, and again, this is why I thought the Rams had a great opportunity to go in there and play the way they did. Tampa's defensive line is just like the Rams. They get pressure from all over the place, and and they blitz and they do all these things, and they have guys that can cover on the back end, and so. You have to. My number one problem, or I won't say problem, concern was, where was the safety blitz in the second half? You hit Jalen Hurts in the mouth like 17 times. They didn't see the safety blitz ever coming. That was. I don't care if they changed right tackles or not.
I was going to say, was it Philly solving their right tackle problem?
No, I just thought we just stopped running it on third down. right? You didn't bring this. You started
They
bringing.
adjusted pretty good. They did. You have to give them credit when they started.
But we didn't
Yeah.
run it though. We ran it one time in the
Right,
in the
it got
second
picked
half.
up, right.
No, and it got picked up, but it was an incomplete pass. And so it was like, oh, okay, we're gonna run it again then. We're just gonna keep running that until like that's the old adage of if I find Waldo, I'm gonna keep going at him until he takes his cleats off. That's the only way. Like, or you make a play, one of the two. But we're gonna figure out what happens first. And so to me, I would have every third down, I would have hit him with a safety blitz or a zone pressure or something that we're giving them so that he doesn't have time to sit back in that pocket. Because when they did start picking up the regular rushes and you're playing one-on-one on the outside, yeah, A.J. Brown's going to win 90% of those.
Let me go back to the Devontae thing. I have seen a lot of calls this week for the Rams to be more balanced, to share the wealth, to be more evenly distributed in their target share. Right now, they're skewed towards two people, and they're two of the top receivers in the National Football League. What's your position on where they are?
Oh, I don't. To me, I love that. Like, you know where the ball's going. And again, we're going to try to mix in Tutu Outwell and Jordan Whittington, and we'll get the tight ends going, and we'll probably get some backs, some stuff. But why wouldn't I give the ball to the two
They're
best
always open.
players
Who
on our
stopped
team?
them so far?
Yeah,
No
nobody
one.
stopped them.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, incomplete passes.
right. What I was going to say, like,
few
Puka
drops.
Nacua is wide open.
Yeah.
Stafford sells one, right? Like, Devontae's open on the slant. Like, so those are things that you can fix. Those are fixable things, but no one stopped them.
I don't know if you have. I don't know how many teams have a Devontae stopper or a corner that good that can go one-on-one with him and just say he's going to lock him up that day. At some point, you're going to have to devote some resources to covering him up because Devontae literally is open every time he takes a step.
He's the most open receiver in the National Football League by some metrics.
Right. Now, if you hit some of those passes, if you hit more of those passes or a higher percentage of those passes, you're staying on the field, possibly scoring more. So I think those things are fixable. And that's what we said earlier. When you listen to Matthew Stafford, he already knows. You don't have to convince him that he needs to get better. He already knows.
Right.
So eventually those things will get ironed out. The one thing I do is I hope that it happens like he trains the gun sights a little bit better before those guys start getting frustrated because that is possible too.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I know on the other side, I hate wasting good rushes.
No question.
I can't stand wasting great rushes. Like I've been setting this thing up and I'm getting home free and the ball gets out and it's caught. It's the same thing. You're wasting good routes if you're off with your passes.
I will tell you, I don't think they'll get frustrated because it's not. He's running great routes, but also there's a scheme into it as well. And Sean does a great job of running plays to help you get open, but then also allowing you to be you, right? And so if you are struggling or if you aren't getting the ball, Sean will scheme something up to get you going, which we saw. I thought another thing I'll say is this: the toughest nickel to play for the Rams has been Cooper DeJean. Puka owned him. It wasn't even close. And I don't know.
Didn't we say that? Like I'll take
You did.
your slot corner and our
Right.
guy. Let's go.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But that.
Yeah.
So now you're playing the Colts, and we'll kind of fast forward. But the Colts have a small nickel now. They don't have this big linebacker-like guy, right? That you had to go against. So I think there's some great wins in this game that you can learn from, and some losses as well. But the wins to me are like, okay, Cooper DeJean, we know what you can and can't do now. Puka Nacua ran that over route. You thought you were on him, put the ball right where it needed to be. Catch where like he can get off the press. He's more physical. There's a lot of things that they can do. And so again, I see it as not a loss to linger. It's more of a lesson that I'm going to keep going back to, right? And like, okay, did we learn from this? Because teams are going to start to do some of the things that we saw against Philly.
It hurts me to say, but you got outplayed at the quarterback position. I don't like that being the resting place at the end of game 3, but Hurts came back in that second half and Matthew missed some throws. He owned that, like you said, but I'm not going to give Stafford a pass necessarily. He doesn't need it from me, but I don't know how he's doing what he's doing behind this offensive line. By any objective measure, the Rams are at the bottom of pass protection so far in the National Football League. Thankfully, they've got some traction on the ground. They're better going forward than back. But, man, I would love to see what McVay and Stafford and LaFleur are able to do if they can just shore some of that up.
But I would say this, like for outplaying Stafford, it's just they were able to do some things that the Rams could not do. Like when the play is dead, Jalen Hurts was still viable. I mean, that's just what you have with Matthew Stafford. But what you can be when you're a guy that's not mobile is very, very accurate and know where you want to go with the football based on what you see. You know what I mean? Be a step ahead here. And I think that might have been lacking. So that was the thing with Jalen Hurts and this defense. Daniel Jones coming up is also a guy that can move. He's also a guy that can jump out the window on third down and break your heart. You get him into a third and manageable or a third and long situation, and you're a little too wild going after him. He scrambles and picks up the first down, and you're right back out there again. And one more thing, I just want to point out, these edge guys, Byron Young is playing as good a football as anybody in football.
Yes.
As an edge rusher. And when you drafted him as a project, he was a big dude
Fast.
that could run, that had to learn the position. Well, he has earned his black belt as far as being an edge. He's playing blocks correctly. He knows when he's one-on-one. He understands protections and what they're trying to do against him, and he's making them pay for it. So, and I love his demeanor. He's going about it with a quiet confidence. Seems like he's got a lot to prove, which is great for us. I think those two edge guys are going to, like I said, the tip of the spear, the fang of the defense. As long as they keep growing and progressing, and you can keep those quarterbacks in the pocket, which might mean you have to sacrifice some as an interior pass rusher. You know I hate that. Yeah, I can't stand that. But if I can keep these dudes in the pocket and cast a wide net, these two edge guys are going to win.
How's last year's sack leader feeling right now? I know Braden Fisk has been gutting it through at less than 100%. But
I don't know if it's ever happened to you because you're the focal point. You carry the rock. But there is nothing worse in the NFL than sitting through a defensive line meeting watching everybody get sacks but you.
Oh, listen, brother, I've been there.
It burns.
I was my second year. I scored 17 touchdowns as a rookie. My second year, my first one didn't come until week 6. I was going. I had to go talk to a therapist. I was going crazy.
Right.
I was like, "What is going on around here? Like, why me?
Yes.
What did I do? I got on my knees. I was like about to sacrifice something to the football gods.
Right.
What did I do?
It's just
nothing against Puka Ford, but when Ford gets one before Braden Fisk,
a nose tackle gets one before Fisk.
But you have to understand this too. When you're the sack leader, what does everyone say? We're gonna make sure that this guy doesn't get going, right? And so you're getting. And it looked like to me personally, again, this is just me seeing it in live time, that they're getting a little extra help on 55. It's not like he's getting singled up like everybody else, right? Again, Verse wasn't getting double teamed. Saquon was going into the middle, trying to help there more than he was outside. So that just tells you when you're the sack leader, people, they respect you a little bit different.
Yeah, it'll come, and when it does,
comes in
usually
bunches.
what happens, it's like blood in the water. I mean, they're going to come in bunches for you.
This game from Indianapolis reminds me a little bit about what LA had on its plate last week. Off to an undefeated start. I think people are believing in your roster. There's a lot of good there, but until you go and prove it on the road against a fellow contender, maybe there's like a wait and see component. But I think on paper, there's every reason to believe in the Colts as the new favorite in that division. The only thing you can poke holes in so far in their 3-0 start is maybe level of competition.
Yeah.
Dang sure ain't their punter. Haven't seen
Sure.
Well, yeah, I think once.
You mean their holder?
Yeah.
Right, that guy, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think they made a decision to go with the safest bet in Daniel Jones. It's not the highest ceiling, but it's the safest bet. He's not going to turn the ball over. He has the ability to run a little bit. He's faster than what people give him credit for, but he doesn't make mistakes. And the biggest thing about him is they're running the football. It has nothing. They are running the football so well right now that it's like he can play action pass and guys can be wide open. They have a tight end that runs over routes, right? It's not like he's just out here just out of shotgun 3 steps, 5 steps, just picking people apart. No, they're running the football. They're play action pass. He'll take shots here and there. Like you said, on third down, if you run past me, I'll take off and run, right? I'll just do the right things. And that is complementary football at its best, right? And then defensively, they're going to sit in their coverage. They're going to get some pressure. It's not nothing crazy. It's not like anything that's out of the like, oh my God, even though DeForest Buckner's there and he's doing an awesome job.
Can't get rid of that guy.
Yeah. But
Quiddy Pay, a lot too.
Yeah.
They got guys.
Yeah, they got
They've
guys,
built their
but it's
roster
not like
very nicely.
last week though. They don't got 2 dudes in the middle that can
Fair.
Right, but it's different. But it's just not last week. And they have guys, and so defensively, I'll start. Don't rush past the quarterback. Force him to throw into tight windows. You're not AJ Brown's not on this roster, right? So you have some leeway there. They have some. I think Pierce is hurt. He's in the concussion protocol.
Right.
That's their deep threat, right? So Pittman, you got to kind of keep your eyes on
Big
him,
dude.
right? Bigger guy, and then stop the run, like you did last week.
What do you think of Taylor? I think Jonathan Taylor is elite. I think he's top flight. Yes.
So people when he came out, I had him as my 6th best running back, and it's because he went to Wisconsin. No disrespect.
Okay,
right?
fair
No
enough.
disrespect.
I totally understand what that means.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
So he's a
completely.
product of that factory more than like a differentiated.
yes. For sure.
Yes.
Melvin Gordon, Monty Ball, all these dudes
This is what
came
they
out.
do.
Yeah, this is what Ron Dane, like
Yes,
these guys
this is
come
what
out
they
like, and then
do.
they don't necessarily perform at the highest level in
Yes.
the NFL. But he went to a system that had offensive linemen that fit him, and they revamped and rebuilt this offensive line to fit what he does well, and that's why you're seeing him being very successful.
Maybe the most underrated part of their start so far. Their offensive line has played great.
Mm-hmm.
Not just paving the way for JT, but also like
protection.
one of the least sacked. And part of that is Daniel Jones' mobility. Part of it is the scheme that you talked about.
he
but-
gets the ball out quick. It's
Yeah.
not like when you're playing.
Steichen's a good coordinator.
Who's the? Yeah, well, he came
He's
from
a
Philly,
great-
right?
great
He's
play
one of
caller.
Philly's guys,
Yes.
so it's the same offense. The quarterback they had that they drafted, it just slipped my mind again.
Richardson.
Yeah, he holds on to the ball,
Yeah.
right? So that's why he was getting hit in the back of the head all the time. I remember we went there a couple years ago to play him. Aaron Donald was hanging on his back, and he's strong, but he holds onto the ball. Daniel Jones gets the ball out quickly. So there's that. Offensively, I believe that you have advantage in the passing game and as a slot. I think if you can run the ball and be balanced like you were,
You
you'll
play
be
the
able to
run
take
like you play
shots.
the run in Philly?
Yeah, I think you'll have those are your advantages. And so to me, Stafford has to be on, right?
Boom.
But you're going to have chances in this game to take shots.
I love Stafford coming off a bad
yeah.
week. I mean, that's his bounce backs are pretty strong. I do think Lou Anarumo was a big pickup.
Big time.
For a roster that was almost complete. You talk about getting the quarterback right as a cast-off that other people didn't want. You know, Anarumo, I don't think did anything wrong in Cincinnati other than not having the personnel, not having the investments and the resources on that side of the football. But he's had some good success against the Rams and specifically against Stafford.
Yeah, he's tricky. He's a smart guy, and he's going to be dialed in on what they want to do. But you have every confidence in the world in Sean McVay to come up with a great plan. It's so funny how he picks and chooses who he wants to play football against that day. It could be your tackle, it could be your defensive end, it could be that safety down there. You never know who he's picking on. So I would just remember that one time where he was screaming at a safety in New York, if you're going to play cover 3, you better be honest, or I'm going to come after you every time. You know what I mean? That's that sort of stuff. So do you have the ability to disguise and fool Matthew Stafford? We're going to find out. I think it all comes down to definitely their accuracy and his accuracy there. If he's on, like you said, coming off a bad week, you're going to complete balls. You're going to give Indy all they can handle as far as offensively. Now, if you bring that same sort of nasty that the defense brought to Philadelphia, if you bring that home to SoFi where you've got benefit of crowd noise, and this is a surface you like, even though I like their offensive line, you should dominate and decimate them. You just did when you had zero advantages. It's on grass. That's their surface with their crowd, and you absolutely took after them. You got after them. If you can do the same thing here, bring the same mentality back to SoFi with your people on your surface, you should dominate them. If you take care of Jonathan Taylor like you took care of Saquon Barkley, you should dominate Daniel Jones. He may throw it to you.
Right.
Absolutely. He may revert back to that old New York Giants.
He's still
Daniel
in
Jones.
there.
That's what I'm saying. Get pressure, make him feel like he's unsafe. And I'm sure, look, you saw the hits Jalen Hurts took.
Oh, my gosh.
The one right to the face from Jared Verse. You don't think he's thinking about that?
Oh, dude, or McCullough.
Absolutely.
Like those were, like I said, those were big time hits that, again, Hurts didn't even see those guys coming.
Boom.
He
That's
didn't
the
even
one that
feel 'em.
shakes
And
your
so,
trust. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, I agree with you. Defensively, I feel comfortable in every game that we go in. If I look down the roster, down the schedule, I feel comfortable.
Because you got that pass rush now. You know that you can break a game with 4 guys on any Sunday.
Any 4 too. You decide.
Yeah.
Josiah Stewart can come in and get you some work too,
You
right?
have
Like
depth of 8 guys.
But
that you can roll at
I agree
people.
with you, though.
Yeah.
You better make sure you're able to get there, and ideally with 4 this weekend, because I think their weapons are underrated.
Oh, yeah.
And who contends with Warren?
Ooh.
it's gonna have to be Quentin Lake.
Good, because he's out of control right
That's
now.
who's gonna.
Yeah.
That to me, who you're gonna like. I know Downs is a slot guy and all. Like Quentin Lake, you're covering Warren this week. If I'm I'm thinking defensively,
It's going to be a busy day because he's everywhere.
and guess what? Guess where you'll be. If he goes to the bathroom, hand him toilet paper, right? Like you got to be with him. That's just how it is. Like that, you have to cover that cat. We
horrible
can't let that
image,
get.
Maurice.
I'm just saying that's where you have to be. If he goes outside, you're outside. If he's inside, you have to be there to make sure because that's his teddy bear, right? That's Daniel Jones' safe place. That if he gets in trouble, he's going to find Warren and get him the ball as quickly as possible. And Warren's playing lights out right now.
Should we talk about our tight end situation real quick? Because
Yeah.
I know people are are a little shocked maybe that T. Ferg was a healthy scratch. I know I was surprised.
I could not believe he was in street clothes. That shocked me.
But when you saw the way the Rams played that game and the role that the tight ends had in that game and really have for the first month of the season, does that check out now?
It does, but it still begs the question as to why. This is why you drafted him. This is what you were going to do, and he's not playing today, so you have to ask why. Is it because he can't beat out the three guys in front of him? Is it because you're facing Philly, you have a different game plan, or is he not up to speed with the offense? Why isn't he out there? Especially when you look at Indy, and they have a rookie tight end that's killing it. You know what I mean?
That's why I brought it up here.
Right.
Yeah.
So you start to just wonder why. It's not the end of the world, but you still want to know the answer as to why. This is true.
Right? That's a completely different deal. I would say this. I trust Sean. I trust his judgment. But that still doesn't mean why he's not out there playing, right? He's probably the best athlete you have at that position. And he could help on special teams. Like, I don't know. Maybe he could have ran down Jordan Davis and tackled him. I have no idea. Like, he was on punt. He ran down the guy from Tennessee, right? Like, let him get in and get some type of game reps in these situations. Those are learning. I know it may seem minute, like, oh, he's on field goal block, but that speed of that is going to help him in the long run at tight end, blocking, right? Or just doing something.
But if they went into Philly saying, how many targets do you think our tight end room is going to get today? 5 or fewer.
Yes.
What role are your tight ends going to play today? When you
Blocking.
get into 12, what are you going to do? We're running jet sweeps at that. They're extensions of our offensive line. Okay, of your 4 tight ends, who's least equipped to play that game?
Probably him.
I get it. I mean, it ties back to what we said earlier in the show, which is the passing game right now is built on your 2 superstars. And until someone takes that away and makes you play left-handed, why not lean into that identity fully?
So it's funny because there was somebody on Twitter put out, like, the next pick after Ferguson was Will Johnson, who's lighting it up in Carolina.
That's how you can play that game every year.
But again, that's why the fans are upset because that game is played, but it's very true, right? Like, you lost a corner, your corners got beat up in the second half by A.J. Brown, but this kid's over in Arizona playing well, right? So when you draft a guy, and again, I like I said before, I understand it, but I also understand from the fan standpoint, like, we resources into this tight end. He needs to be on the field.
Yeah, I think that's a different conversation, allocation of resources, where the Rams, quite honestly, bet on themselves at offensive line and corner. And in the first month of the season, you have key injuries at those positions. And right now, that's a questionable wager. There's still time to pay that off. And there's still time to use your resources to get better at those positions, which I think, if anything, coming out of Philadelphia, maybe that's a data point that you can work off of. But
you had a 19-point lead without him. You just couldn't hold it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm good with T. Ferg's long-term future in this offense. I just don't think the 3 games they played so far, and especially the one they played last week, is a rookie tight end, big, move tight end in your passing game type of structure, I guess is what I'm saying.
I mean, listen, I think...
That being said, if you said, Sean, you can't play any tight end but Terrence Ferguson, can you go make it work? He can dial up a game plan that's going to...
And that's day is coming.
Yeah. It's going to come quickly because, again, I think it may be this week. Him in the slot versus a linebacker or a nickel corner that's smaller is going to be a great advantage for you.
But you just talked about the slot matchup that you loved last week.
I like this one.
But you have 2 slots.
I know, I'm just saying.
Like you decide which one you want to cover. I'm sorry, I'm moving.
I think it's obviously all intertwined. And if you're feeling better about your pass protection with your 5 starting offensive linemen, maybe there's a little bit more latitude in how you use your tight ends.
For sure.
Right now, I think their passing game has a lot to do with making sure that Matthew has the time to get it to 12 and 17. And until someone makes him do anything different, or until the Rams can protect better, that's the way it's going to be.
We're avoiding field goal block. Field goal block.
Fix it for us.
Okay. Well,
what are we going to see different this week?
It could be a personnel thing, but you go back and watch Tennessee, you watch Philadelphia, it seems like it's coming off
Houston.
one side. And you know what? Maybe you could tell me this. It's an offensive thing. Whenever we practice field goal or PAT, you'd have the offensive lines flop sides. So the right guys become the left become the right. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, like Havenstein is playing on the left side.
I never knew why they did that, why you have guys flop sides for whatever reason. But it seems to be tradition. But that has to be something you have to get fixed. I hope it's something you can fix because it seems like there's 2 teams in a row that have a beat on you. So that's one of those things where you have to go and re-examine everything that you're doing, personnel, operation, routine, the whole 9. Somebody's got a beat on you. We would steal, this is a D-line thing, We would steal the TV copy of every game we played,
Yeah,
so we
you
can
hear
hear
the
the cadence.
cadence.
Yeah, there's a bead somewhere. There's a tell.
Oh, so you're saying it's not just the blockers up front; it might be the timing and the rhythm of the snap operation. Like you steal third base off a pitcher because he gets predictable.
Somebody's got a bead on you. Yeah, when you go back and watch, and I fully believe, I swear, I can't prove this, but I believe this. If you had changed up your routine just slightly, like had he called for the ball and just waited a beat, they would have jumped off sides.
When is this going to be aired?
Tonight, Thursday
Immediately.
night.
Okay, I can't. I was going to tell you
What a tease.
because there's tails all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you coach high school football, everyone has tails. There's a team that De La Salle is going to play, and there's a tail in that game.
Oh,
that
yeah.
they found, right?
Keep that to yourself.
Yeah,
Hall
but
of Famer.
I'll tell you the tail before, and we were playing Folsom, and this was a couple years ago. Their quarterback, every time his right leg was back, it was a pass. Every time his left leg was back, it was a run. So there's tails in everything that you can find. I would just say PAT block is big men are hard to find. The big men don't grow on trees. And when you have two of the biggest men over one guy, that's always tough, right? And so you have to find a way to either, I remember last year you had Bobby Brown, the third was on there, right?
Yeah.
You got to get your biggest, strongest guys to be able to sit in there and hold up. And right now, they're just not holding up.
It's big and strong. It's hard to do.
Yes.
Just period. Now imagine if they know when the ball's coming. It's impossible.
You're right, because Jalen
2
Carter
in
was
1
off
game.
that ball. I
Yes.
saw it again. He was off that ball pretty quickly on the last one.
Yes. 2-in-1 game tells you a lot. Yes.
I know how I want to finish. Before I do wrap this up, any final thoughts so that I don't get out of here before
No, well, the first question when we talked about BTH this week was, how do we feel that the Rams stacked up versus the Eagles? That very well. That's a game you could have won. So there's a lot to be encouraged by. There's some things you need to work on. It is what it is. But after 3 weeks, when the schedule first came out, when did the schedule come out? You're a schedule guy. You love
End
that.
of April
May.
draft, so maybe mid-May.
And you saw how it stacked up and where. And if you said after the first 3 weeks, if you're 3-0, 2-1, you take that, right? So yeah, I mean, you
Yes,
like to,
but it
because it
changes.
puts you on course to be 4-1 or at worst 3-2 after 5 when San Francisco comes in, and that's
Right.
where your margin has.
but not
been
discounting,
trimmed.
but
Yeah.
Things have changed, though.
a little bit.
You know why things
Yeah.
change? Because they played to a certain standard, and the expectation is different now. And I think after seeing what happened with Philly is, in my mind, the standard is we need to see that type of play, that first half play,
Right.
only getting better
But
from
consider
there.
the last 2 years how this team has started.
Totally agree.
That's, you know what I'm saying?
And
It's-
that's
yeah.
where I know fans don't like to hear it, but my sight level has been elevated despite the loss to Philadelphia. Like, I think this team's floor is higher and its ceiling is definitely way up there now that I've seen what they're capable of. But it's incumbent upon them to go prove that as soon as this Sunday, because if it doesn't go that way, then all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're in a much different place.
And I'll say the running back, the two-headed monster is starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm excited about that.
Did you guys hear the fight song to Michigan when Blake Corum was running the football? Because I sure did. I don't know. It just popped in my here it comes again.
No, I didn't hear
No.
all that.
It brought out the best in the starter, though.
Yeah.
I thought Kyron had his best day.
I did too, and I think the more they compete, the better they are. The way you can run the ball like that, it's gonna be if you can keep that going, it's gonna be special.
It will keep going. Yes.
All right, last thing. NFL officiating. Meet me over here at camera, whatever this is, and you guys support me on this.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a penalty. Yeah, my bad.
Can we vouch for Puka Nacua on this show? If
Yes.
someone needs to. The least likely guy to taunt anybody on the roster.
He did punch a guy in the face, though.
Come on.
He did. It happened.
That was in Seattle. Seahawks
he
don't
was
count.
he was thrown out of a game once.
Oh yeah, he did. I forgot.
He might
all
be
about
on
that.
the list. Who
That-
knows?
Listen, that I understand from the viewpoint of that ref what he thought he saw, but you have to understand the part of like there's certain guys that taunt people,
Yeah.
and there's certain actions that taunt people. If I stand up and I'm flexing,
That's not
that's
one of
not taunting. I'm not looking at you. Now, if I'm looking down on you and I'm flexing, that's taunting.
Correct.
Right? So
You have to
that's
taunt
the
to
first
taunt.
part. The second part is, let's be honest, this league is built on superstars. You give guys, I used to get the benefit of the doubt all the time. Like, I mean, I used to do some wild stuff. Hey, 32, get on out of here. Like, all right, you're right. I went too far. Don't do it again. I got you. Where was that? Like, you have to give him the benefit. Hey.
That should have been a warning.
Yeah, that's a warning. They're
Next
like, hey,
time I flag
don't do
you.
that again.
Yeah.
Do you hear what Stafford said when he was asked about high-profile players, veterans getting the benefit of the doubt?
What did you say?
He's like, I got popped in the chin. I didn't get the benefit of the
Oh,
doubt.
yeah.
I've already had a roughing the passer picked
up.
up so
You're right.
far this season.
Oh, he got hit in the mouth, too.
I'm
I saw
hard,
that.
too.
Right. his grit, his toughness works against him.
Yeah.
He's not protected because they know how tough he is after 17 seasons.
It's funny because you'll see Josh Allen get like pushed, and he'll be like,
Oh, yeah. Steal it.
Yeah, so he's got to sell a little bit. That's
Anyways, for the officials who don't play fantasy football, who have not had the chance to work with Puka Nacua over the course of 3 star-studded seasons, he's not just a superstar. He is the nicest guy on the roster.
Yes.
Please stop throwing flags.
Who's been ejected once for
against
punching
him
a
and
guy?
maybe drop one on those trying to.
Yeah, he got ejected one time.
Nah, that was a horrible call. That was terrible.
He still had to get out of character. He had to get out of character, and then now he's good.
Dude, look, that was a gouger by him, and I felt him on that, and it's a shame that the team was robbed of that by somebody that misinterpreted that as a taunt. That's terrible.
One of the secrets to success the last 2 seasons has been defending home turf in home back-to-backs across a span of 5 days. Happened in 23, happened again in 24. Here we go, Sunday and Thursday, Colts and 49ers. You can't win them both unless you beat Indy, so we'll see you there at SoFi Stadium. For Maurice Jones-Drew,
The Hall
for
of Famer.
D'Marco Farr,
2-time.
just your average Joes here on Between the Horns, presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers.
Oh, there you go.
Flex on them, D'Marco.